Go ahead, turn it up. It's the Record Machine Show with your host, Jimmy Howe.
I can see you, but I don't wanna step outside. I don't wanna step outside. And I can hear you through the glass, but I don't wanna step outside. Yeah, I'm so scared to step outside. I see you through the curtains, but do you see me? Meet me at the window, come a little closer. Let your breath fog up the glass. Meet me at the window, come a little closer. Let your breath fog up the glass. And if you stay a while, I might just open up. You see me here, but you only get a glimpse inside. Yeah, that's only a glimpse inside. And you look quite comfy over there. Not sure you wanna step inside. You're hesitant to step inside. You see me through the curtains, but do you see? Meet me at the window, come a little closer. Let your breath fog up the glass. Meet me at the window, come a little closer. Let your breath fog up the glass. And if you stay a while, I might just open up. Then you can see all that there is to me. And I'll discover too all that there is to you. And if we're in or outside, doesn't matter where we go. If we found home, meet me at the window, come a little closer. Let your breath fog up the glass. Meet me at the window, come a little closer. Let your breath fog up the glass. And if you stay a while, I might just open up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome singer-songwriter Talitha Jae. How you doing, Talitha?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
That's good.
So, what part of Australia are you from?
I'm up in
Oh, very cool. I'm in North Myrtle Beach. Have you ever heard of that in South Carolina?
No.
Have you been to the U.S. at all?
No, I haven't. I've got a few friends from there, but I've never been over myself yet.
Oh, yeah, where your friends live?
I've got a friend who's from Orange County, LA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then one of the girls that came over we had the city thing with the Tamworth that I just did, and she's from Nashville, but I think she's actually from Kansas City, maybe.
Oh,
Anyway.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about your musical background. When did you first get involved in music?
Well, I grew up in a musical family. My mum was a singer-songwriter as well. Mum and dad did a few bandy. Mostly they used to do just music at church, which is where I guess I kind of got around a lot of music. And then started sort of doing some stuff with mum there, and then moved into doing weddings and parties with my mum. Started doing some competitions high schoolish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved up to Cairns to study. And while I was here, started to do some solo stuff, which was really scary at the time because I was like, no, I've only ever done stuff with my mum. I can't do it by myself. But I, started doing some stuff like at lunchtimes and on Friday nights at uni. And then I started writing my own stuff, I guess, around 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I guess built the confidence in that. I went to, I guess, songwriting circle at one of the music schools, and it was really good because every week we'd either write a song or we'd give lots of feedback on other people's songs if we didn't have our own song. And that kind of being able to go in and be like, oh, I don't know about this one. And they'd be like, oh, wow, I really like this and I really like that. And that kind of built my confidence. And then I started going to open mics with my original stuff. And it just kind of grew from there.
Nice. Now, who were some of your biggest musical influences and how have they shaped your style, would you say?
Well, I've got my top 4 girlies, I call them, which is Nora, Laura, Claire, and Eva. So Eva Cassidy, Claire Bowditch, Laura Marling, and Nora Jones. They're my probably top 4, but then you've also got things like I grew up listening to The Cause and Jewel and I guess a whole heap of different things, but it all plays out in there somewhere. Even like Shania Twain was our like road trip album with Dad when we'd come up on holidays. And so this is why I struggle with genre so much, because I grew up listening to so many different styles and they all, I guess, subconsciously feed into my songwriting. And I don't know what to call myself because there's bits of everything in there. Like my mum studied jazz at the con when I was in high school. So I was the weird high school kid who knew all the jazz songs, and some of my songs you'll hear that jazzy influence in there as well, and it all kind of just squishes in there somewhere, and I don't know how to write to a specific genre. It all just kind of comes out.
Singer-songwriter, right?
Yeah.
That's simple enough, right?
Yeah, but sometimes they don't have that box, so when you're applying for a competition they want you to fit into these specific boxes, and I'm like, well, it's a little bit of all of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, this podcast will feature 2 of your tracks. The new one, Meet Me at the Window, and I picked Butterflies and Anxiety. What's the story behind those 2 songs?
Well, Butterflies and Anxiety is, it's all about that beginning phase of a relationship where you're like, oh, it's really nice and I've got butterflies and it's all sweet. And then you're also like, what if it's all just made up in my head and they don't actually like it at all? That's what that one's about. And it's fun because I will try and usually tell that little bit of a snippet of a story at a gig and you see everyone in the audience go like, oh yeah, we know that. And Meet Me at the Window it's all about that longing for connection and wanting to sort of put yourself out there, but being, scared because it doesn't always end well and sometimes people are just weirdos. And so you're scared to step outside of your little bubble, but then you realize that other people out there are probably feeling much the same and their bubble. And so the window, I guess, kind of represents that little middle ground where you can start to get a bit of a glimpse into the other person, and the closer you get to it, the more you get to see. And that's kind of what that one is.
Very cool. Will there be a music video for that single?
There is, and that's another whole big exciting story. I stumbled into like a $10,000 worth of film clip for free.
Nice.
Yeah, I was in a ad for JCU when I was at uni, and it was just a voluntary thing. And I get this call. Well, it was about May last year, and this guy's like, "You don't know me, but I know you." And I was like, "Creepy." And he's like, oh, no, I did the ad for JCU back in the day and you were always a yes person, still a yes person. And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm running this masterclass for Screen Queensland because there's a lot of filming stuff starting to happen up here in Cairns. And he's like, we just need something to film are you keen? And I was like, yeah. He's like, we can't pay you and it'll probably be a whole weekend's worth. And I was like, that's okay. He's like, maybe we'll give you some content. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Thinking I'd get like a reel.
Okay.
And the next week he calls and he's like, so I've been thinking about it and I really want like, because it's a lighting masterclass, I want to have like light streaming through the window, maybe like a big old hall, fill it with a bit of hazy stuff, make it a bit emotional. Do you have any songs? And it just so happened that I was in the middle of a songwriting challenge with the iHeart Songwriting Club, and the week before I'd written a song called Meet Me at the Window, and it was a little bit feely, and I sent it to him and he was like, yeah, that one. And then he's like, oh, okay, I've got a friend who's a producer. If you haven't recorded it yet, this is my friend's name. And I was like, oh, that's who I record all of my stuff with, so that's easy. So we went over and recorded it really quickly. And then, yeah, the film clip happened. And even when I turned up, I didn't expect it to be as huge as it was. When I got there, I was like, what? There was so much equipment, so many people. And yeah, by the end of the 2 days, I said, like, how much would this cost if I was paying? And he's like, oh, minimum 10 grand. And I was like,
wow. So you hit the lottery on that one.
I did. I had to wait a long time because it was a bit of a love job, and it was really the filming that they were doing for the masterclass, not the editing. It took a long time to get it back, but one of the young guys that was in on the shoot offered to just edit it for free for me. So he's put it all together for me and sent it back, and it was just beautiful.
When is it coming out?
It's coming out this Thursday at 7 p.m. Australian time. And I'm, as you can see, horrible with time differences. So yes. I don't know. But I think if you go onto YouTube, it should actually tell you that the premiere time is. I've got it set up on there just to go live, and trying to organise a bit of a watch party, but I'll probably also just have it up so if anyone wants to get in the chat there and watch along for the first screening, I guess. It's really exciting. I'll
definitely check that out. Now, you write a lot of songs. Did you enjoy shooting the music video as much as writing and recording the song?
It was a really cool experience. It's funny, though, because I literally spent a whole day in one position on a couch, which looks like it should be comfortable. But after you've sat in one comfy position for that many hours in a row, it's no longer comfortable.
Oh, I'm sure. Like your tush probably starts to get numb and everything, right? And then your back starts to bother you.
Tucked up under me, and it was very comfy at first, but it was not comfy by the end of the day. But it was still a really cool experience, and yeah, I hope I accidentally stumble into more fun things like that.
That would be totally cool. Now, how do you go about composing a new song? What comes first for you, the lyrics or the melody?
It changes a lot, but generally what comes first is a feeling. I guess that's why even though I struggle with genre, I'm known as the queen of the feels, because all of my songs are very feely. And I think it's because that's generally what starts the song, and something will happen and I'll be like, oh, I feel this, I need to write something about this. And sometimes it's just been the music, and I've played around with chords and I don't even know what those chords are, but I know that they're really moody and I want to write a song with that. And then other times it'll be like lyrics, and I'll be like, yeah, I want to say something like this. And I'm a bit of a post-it writer when I start with the lyrics, and I will start with lots of little phrases and things that I want to say, and I put post-its all over my wall, and then I'll color code them. So anything that I think is like a verse bit and anything that might be something I say in the chorus, they're in different colors. And then I move the post-its all around all over my wall until I'm like, okay, that looks like a good kind of structure. And then other times it'll be a melody, and I'll be like, that's cool. What am I going to put in there? And so it really changes. And I often try and like consciously track the progress of a song, but it disappears somewhere in the middle between the idea and the finished product. And I'm like, yeah, but how did I do that? How did I make it into this thing? I haven't quite figured it out.
Nice. Now, what tools or instruments are essential in your songwriting, would you say?
Well, post-it notes are a huge one. I realized that when I went away to Tampa, I tried to do some writing without my post-it notes on my wall. I was like, oh, this is really hard. I think because I'm such a visual person. Mm-hmm. Guitar, sometimes the keyboard, and then quiet time, alone time away from other people. so that I can just really get into the feelings and not get distracted. And I hate people hearing me write songs. I often compare it to like going into a change room with a dress that's like 5 sizes too small, and then while you're in there somehow your clothes disappear, so you have to go back out in front of everyone in the dress that's way too small to get another size. Come back in and you try it on, it's still too small, and you have to keep going back out, and it's really awkward and like, ugh. That's what it feels like if someone's listening to me write a song.
Wow, that's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah, so I'm just like, you can listen to it when it's done, but just let me do this by myself now.
Right, gotcha. With the new single and the new video, do you plan on releasing an EP or maybe a full-length album at some point?
I definitely have plans for another album. I know that the single will be on that. I probably have plans for multiple other albums, but the project that I really want to work on is a whole album of mental health songs. So I have a bit of a thing for combining music and mental health and using it to sort of, I guess, uplift people or normalize things and make people feel less alone. Because I think a lot of the times we can get so tied up and busy in everyday life that we forget to actually take time out to feel all of the things.
Right.
So I like to sort of pull some of those songs out at my gigs and let people have a bit of space to do that. And then I pick them up with fun songs at the end. But yeah, I've got an album of that kind of thing, and I've got... and that side of it is, you know, pretty much ready to just record and go. But I want to release it with a book with all these little tips and tricks and a toy, like a weighted toy. And then I want to tour it through schools and unis and give some talks and do that. But that project is much bigger than my brain can put together. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where to start books and toys. And so it's been on hold for like a year and a bit now. Probably closer to 2 years. But I'm just about to move to a big city where there will be more people to ask those kind of questions, and maybe some manufacturers and some printing places that might be able to say like, oh, you could do it like this, or we could do this for you. Or so I'm hoping that once I move, I might be able to get that project started again too.
Sounds like a plan. What impact has social media had on your growth and interaction with your fans?
Me and social media have a bit of a, not a love-hate relationship, but it's like a, I try to love it and it doesn't really love me back relationship. It takes so much time and it's really hard to get interaction. And I think a lot of that comes back to the algorithm, and they want you to pay to push things out there. And so I do have like my little loyal, you know, fan base that see all of my things because they interact with it, but my reach isn't really that far. And the only way to really get that up is to just constantly be pumping out content, which if you're also trying to work full time is insanely hard. And then at the moment I'm in the process of moving towns and trying to sell all of my things. And so my poor single has probably suffered a little bit in this because it's just not getting good because life is just insane. But it is good, like, because I've got some friends and family and I guess fans over in the US and over in the UK, and so it's fun for them to be able to sort of see what's going on as well, and yeah, be like, oh, she has a new song, and oh, look at that pretty one, and yeah, so it's good for that. I just wish I wish it didn't take as much time as it did, or that it just got a bigger reach and the algorithm didn't hate me so much.
Do you have any shows coming up that you want to talk about?
Well, I did my single release on Friday night, which was supposed to be my last gig in Cairns, but I'm just about to send back a contract. I've picked up a support slot for Frente, which was like a 90s Aussie band, which I've loved forever. They're playing at Tanks Art Centre this week, coming my last week in Cairns. And that's a huge, like, amazing venue to play at as well. So that's now going to be my last show in Cairns. And then I don't actually have anything booked because I haven't booked anything when I moved to Brisbane, because I was like, I just need to get there and settle in and find my feet. But I'll definitely be, you know, within the next month or so trying to really get into that Brisbane scene as well. I've got some friends down there that do music as well, so I'm hoping to sort of sneak in and jump in on some of their gigs and meet some people and start booking down there too.
That's a good idea. Now, are there any causes or organizations that you're passionate about or involved in?
I guess the first one that comes to mind is always Listen Up Music, which is all about that music and mental health, which, as you heard, is something that I'm putting together. If you check out on Spotify, one of my songs is called I'm Right Here, and that appeared on one of their finalists' albums from 2018. That one went down to the national finals. So every year they run this competition, and it's all mental health songwriting. And they do amazing stuff to support artists and I guess raise a lot of awareness and help in that kind of space.
Mm-hmm.
I really love what they do. Yeah.
Nice. Now, do you have a website that you'd like to promote?
I do. It is talithajae.com, which I always find myself having to spell out when I'm on stage. Thanks, Mum. So usually when I'm at a venue, I stick one of my stickers on the wall, and I'm like, if you find the yellow sticker with a teacup, that's how you spell my name.
Nice. Yeah, because everybody probably thinks the letter J, right?
Yeah, or they put J-A-Y instead of J-A-E.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty. It's a pretty name. But
Yes, it totally is. Yes. They just got to learn how to spell it right?
Yeah.
Now, is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
Oh, this is a good question. My brain's very scatterbrainy at the moment with everything going on. So there's probably things that I probably should, and I just might forget. I think we've probably covered most of it. The new single, video coming out, about to make a big move, hopefully do some more exciting music things when I get there. I think that's it. Just watch this space. I do have another song ready to record, hopefully coming out. I want to push it out by the end. And that one will be a little bit more country-ish, but still singer-songwriter, but leaning a little bit more into that country side. I think it's a bit more upbeat and quirky and cheeky and fun.
Nice. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Well, Talitha, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and chatting with me. I had a great time talking with you, and I really dig your music, and I'm looking forward to hearing some more great stuff from you in the future.
Thank you. I've had fun jumping on and chatting as well.
Awesome. Well, you take care and stay in touch when you put out some more music. I'd love to have you back on, all right?
Awesome. Will do, definitely.
All right. You take care and enjoy your day, all right?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.
It was a week, or maybe two, but I had my eye on you, and you finally came to me. The beginnings so bittersweet, feel like I swept up off my feet, mixed with the agony of are you even meant to me? Oh, butterflies and anxiety, it feels so good, but it's killing me. Would you be so kind as to ease my mind? I hope you want this, 'cause I know I do. But if you don't wanna be there, don't lead me there. Don't let me fall if you're not coming to. You may be scared, and I might be too. Learn from the past box me in with anyone that you've been with previously. 'Cause then I mean, if you stick around for a little while, you'll see. But these butterflies and anxiety, it feels so good, but it's killing me. Would you be so kind as to ease my mind? Would you be so kind and ease my mind? Just say you'll be mine.
The Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Howell Productions. All rights reserved. For information regarding distribution or adding this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.
The Record Machine Show.